Hey guys, Nick here from FullPlayerNetwork.com, and I am standing here with Chris Davis.
That's me.
And we are here at E3 2014. We played a little game, a little indie game called This War of Mine by 11-Bit Studios.
11-Bit Studios, the guys behind the Anomaly Tower Defense series.
Yes, which I never played, but I honestly feel a little more
Heard
inclined
really
to
good
now.
things.
So here's the deal. This War of Mine is a war game told from the perspective of the civilians, the people living in it, not the people holding the guns or partaking in combat, anything like that. This is basically a game trying to, I guess, inform people about the horrors of war, what it takes to survive in a war like this.
Basically from a civilian perspective.
And it does this through a very mechanics-heavy game, or a very systems-driven game. It's a side-scrolling game, and it's all controlled with taps. So you tap characters to read about their backgrounds and see what their state of mind is, find out what their status is, trade resources, see what's in their inventory, things like that. It's all done through a series of taps. But it's a resource-heavy game. It's resource management combined with morale management and survival. The whole point of the game is to survive.
Yeah. It's split into two real parts of the game. There's the daytime, which you're not allowed to go outside your safe house because you'll get shot, obviously.
Which honestly I thought was interesting because he said they did a lot of research, basically seeing how different people and different cultures have reacted to being, trying to live through a war, and they all as humans we all kind of react the same. And if you're in the middle of like a quote unquote war zone, the consensus among human beings is to stay inside during the day and leave at night. As far as if you want to venture out to try and find resources, you do it at night.
Yeah.
So they've incorporated that into the game, which I thought was pretty cool.
And so the daytime sequences, they're all about character and safe house management. Just building like a bed, for example, for people to sleep in, making sure that they eat and they heal up and things like that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of similarities between this and some of the more resource management heavy stuff in State of Decay.
Yeah.
Which we played a lot last year. So, this game is also really heavy on trying to make you make some pretty tough decisions. So, like for instance, you can scour the world for resources and then use those resources to build things that you might need. So, for instance, he found some resources in the demo and built a bed. But he only had enough resources to build one bed, so you had to who's gonna sleep in the bed? And then we had one character who was sickly, we had another character who was depressed, and it's just kind of like you gotta make some really tough decisions, and that's also gonna obviously eventually roll over into divvying up food, like The Walking Dead.
Yeah. So in the nighttime sequences, what happens is you have to select jobs for your different characters that are in your safe house. And you can put one to sleep in your bed, one can just go sleep on the floor, one can do guard duty, and another can go scavenge for supplies out in the world. And there's preset selected areas you can go to that grow over time.
You also got to be careful though, because when you click on a character and you read about their background, it kind of tells you little details about their personality types. And if someone
as skills and traits.
like for instance, if someone's character type would be cowardly, I wouldn't necessarily ask them to stand guard. Things like that. So that's pretty cool. There was a portion of the demo too where he kind of ventured out from the safe house at night to scavenge for resources, and he was obviously choosing to whether he wants to take resources from the base camp to use for trading. Of course, on this little venture out, he decided he was just going to kind of show you the kind of things you could do to really be an asshole.
The more terrible things of humanity.
But he was also, when he was talking about it, he was kind of positioning it as, this doesn't necessarily make you an asshole per se. It's kind of like some of these things you're gonna have to make some tough decisions if you want to survive.
It's all about survival.
It's a hard truth, but in this demo he ended up beating up an old person and taking all of
beat
stuff.
the shit out of him, and then beat the son up. The son nearly killed him.
Yeah, the son pulled out a gun, and he managed to beat him down before he got a chance to get a shot off. It was all very that's probably a little more on the extreme side of what you might do, but he was trying to give us an idea of the kind of decisions you do have the ability to make. Obviously, most people will probably, hopefully, not be dicks like that. But it was cool. It's a really systems-heavy game.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to require you to do a lot of thinking and making a lot of really tough decisions. But that's kind of the gist of it. It's coming out on PC, and they're eventually going to develop it for mobile devices like iPhone and Android and whatnot.
Yeah, they're putting it on PC first, and they're going to be putting it on iOS and Android devices, and then they may think about other platforms like consoles.
Yeah, so it's really cool. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this. I kind of mentioned this in the podcast last night. It's one thing I really like about it is it kind of takes some of my favorite aspects of the Mark of the Ninja, as far as how it tells you where your line of vision is.
What your character can see and hear in the world.
Yeah. So if you walk into a house, you have a very specific cone of vision in front of you, and there was also like a trap door on the floor, and when you walked over the trap door, like the cone of vision kind of went down and included the room down below, and everything outside of that cone of vision becomes either dark or blurry or fuzzy. It's just really, really well done. The game looks beautiful. It's very stylized artistically.
Yeah, it's some great artwork, and at the same time, it's really tragic looking.
Yeah, honestly, it's going to be one of those games that's going to be hard for some people to play. There's not a lot of comic relief here. It's kind of.
We didn't see any comic relief.
Yeah,
honestly.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. There is no comic relief here. It's really just the game seems like it's pretty important to the developers. It seems like they're trying to make, trying to deliver a message about war and what it really means to people. Like, especially it's in an industry like this where war is almost always depicted as glorified as picking up a gun and shooting people. So it's kind of a refreshing change of pace. We'll be seeing more of it in the future, I'm sure. But I mean, is there anything else you want to say about it?
No, I mean, it looks really good, and I can't wait to try it.
Yeah. So we'll be playing it in the future, but of course, stick with us here at 4playernetwork.com. We have a couple more days of the show to go, so we'll be bringing you more impressions and podcasts and videos and stuff. So keep it locked here at 4playernetwork.com.
See you all soon.